Aloha, this is Santa Surfing. Welcome to Beach Broadcast. Today is Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. It's the middle of the week. Some people have asked, how can I get one of those MAGA beanies? Just go to the store. It's the very first product that you see on the far left-hand side, and it does deliver within like 7 days to 10 days, depending on what part of the world you're in, so it will come in by Christmas time. But I do want to thank you so much for, oh my gosh, for following us and just being the warriors that you are. So I'm going to cover some news. There is a presser happening this afternoon, early afternoon, with President Trump. I'm not too sure what the details will be about. It's about resetting the fuel thingy. Can't remember. So let me get to... And then to follow us on our social media. These are all of our social media pages. I have some new posers on X. So if you want to find out if that account is truly Santa Surfing, just go to Beach Broadcast News. There's the link right there, and you can click on that, and you'll find out if that account is me or not. YouTube is right here, and then previous videos are on Rumble. And here is the address on each of the pages on our website, so that many people they had asked for this. So this is the mainland address. Please send it there, and please include your phone number. Please include your return address and phone number on the posting note, on the card, letter, whatever you're sending. Please remember that, because we want to make sure we can follow up. And with the price of silver surging, I wanted to go ahead and talk about our sponsor, GOLDCO. They have been a sponsor of ours for a few years now. And what they do is they take your retirement funds, your 401k funds, and they will convert some of it or all of it into precious metals. So they are a precious metal IRA company. But contact GOLDCO, ask any question. They take care of all of the transaction on the back end for you. But as we see the surge of silver and gold happening, why not get in earlier rather than later? Because we're going to see a lot of drastic changes going on every single day with President Trump's presidency. So contact GOLDCO by going to santasurfinglikesgold.com. Our show is also sponsored by ABSOLVE. A lot of people are breaking away from acetaminophen. They want to get into something more natural, and this right here is a solution for many, many of our viewers. They've been taking it some of them have been taking this for 4 years. It's a natural supplement, pain relief. It relieves your pain. You're not drowsy. It doesn't upset it doesn't upset my stomach, and many people have also reported it heals their tissues and their tendons if they've had some kind of surgery. So go to ABSOLVE by going to the sponsor link on our website or below, or going to painabsolverxpill.com. And one more sponsor is IVERMECTIN. If you want IVERMECTIN, it's simple to order. All you do is call this toll-free number, 888-749-0261, or go to the website. You can click on the QR code or click on the link here. And it is, they provide IVERMECTIN. They have their summer specials still extended. For any order of IVERMECTIN, they are offering 2 free blister packs. So whatever package you decide you get, they're offering 20 additional ivermectin pills. So again, you call 888-749-0261. Thanks so much for the feedback. Yesterday's video, it seems that everyone really appreciated that. You're very welcome. It's my absolute pleasure. And what President Trump did is he really opened up the curtain, because he was dropping major bombs. I'm going to play a few of them here on this podcast, and then I want to cover some recent news. And then hopefully by then we'll get to the announcement that President Trump will have this afternoon. I'm timing this recording of this podcast to his announcement. But man, I'll tell you, President Trump is getting ready to unleash. We're seeing a lot of things this year. It's getting a lot closer and closer. So yeah, it's going to be kind of crazy. I think we need to put our armor, our little Santa hat on, and an armor of God on this Christmas season. Okay, I'm going to play the one on President Trump talking about the warmongers in Congress. Listen to this. And again, this was one of those 65 videos that he put out 2 days ago.
Just as importantly, bringing back empowerment will give us a crucial tool with which to obliterate the deep state, drain the swamp, and starve the warmongers, these people that want wars all over the place, killing, killing, killing. They love killing. And the globalists out of our government. We're going to get the warmongers and the globalists out of our government.
Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. But for him posting it twice 2 days ago was a big sign that, again, we need to be aware of this, because today's information, after I share this next two video clips, the information is, this is where he is beginning to drop his bomb. This one I wanted to share because Big Mike hasn't been exposed yet. And when this came out as one of the posts that President Trump put out there 2 days ago, was very telling about Big Mike now is in the hot seat.
Of Biden, Michelle Obama went in and used the auto pen. I think there were 4 or 5 pardons she gave. And then you'd love to.
Okay, so we have that. And then the third one, for some reason, I'm having a hard time trying to find that one, but it was on Ilhan being, she is being investigated for fraud, for many, many criminal acts, including bigamy. And of course, she denies it. I didn't marry my brother. Of course, they deny everything. Come on. Now let's look at what happened today. Man, I'm telling you, these judges, they're sitting there all pompous in their black robes. They're all sitting there thinking, we're untouchable. Well, guess what? President Trump's administration fired eight immigration judges just in New York, and that happened to be yesterday. They fired a total of, it's close, pushing to upwards of 100 immigration judges nationwide. Why is this big? And what they're going to do is they're replacing these judges. So they're replacing, out of the 100 judges, they're going to replace 36 new judges, many with military experience. Remember what President Trump and Ron DeSantis said earlier this year when they opened up Alligator Alcatraz? They were talking about deputizing the National Guard to become immigration judges. Listen to this short clip.
This is, we're offering up our National Guard and other folks in Florida to be deputized to be immigration judges. We're working with the Department of Justice for the approvals. I'm sure Pam will approve. But then I'll have a National Guard judge advocate here. Someone has a notice to appear. Biden would tell them to come back in 3 years and appear. Now you'll be able to appear in like a day or two, so they're not going to be detained hopefully for all that long. We'll have people here in this facility that can make, it's a bureaucracy. The president's got to deal with the bureaucracy. Now that Supreme Court ruling was good because that's going to allow him to be able to exercise Article 2 the way founders intended, but you still have bureaucracy. So we want to cut through that so that we have an efficient operation between Florida and DHS to get the removal of these illegals done.
Earlier this year, September 12th, President Trump was on Fox and Friends, and he talks about quick trials.
One thing I say, we have to have quick trials.
Yeah.
I call it quick trial because in China, they do have quick trials. They don't wait 6 years and
you start
all
off
sorts
guilty and
of
you end up
reason.
guilty in China.
Oh, it's terrible. What happens here is you go through 7, 8 years, and by the time it ends, and then they say, well, he had a reason to do it because he wasn't treated right in grade school, and it's his teacher's fault, and it's the government's fault. That guy they should have a trial the following day, as far
But do you know that they say
President Trump has been teeing things up all year. He's been teeing things up during his campaign in 2024. Now he's getting ready to unleash, whether it happens in the next few weeks or whether it happens before the 4th of July, 2026. He's getting you prepared as well. White House account posted today, hereby declared null and void. Now, the legal analysts that slant left, they are out there doing the media circuit talking about whether President Trump has the constitutional right to do that, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'll just say this. President Trump has a lot of power to do what he needs to do because think about this, that resident houseplant Joe Biden, he was installed. He was because of a coup. So a coup is treasonous, yeah? Again, you decide, but in my opinion, a coup is treasonous. A coup was blocking all of the Trump supporters out of the Capitol so they couldn't be there to witness the treason that was going on in the chambers when they certified the 2020 election, knowing it was filled with fraud and fraudulent ballots and fraudulent everything, and even states they didn't even have. There were several states that said There were red states that weren't in agreement for the certification, but Mike Pence, the old dweeb, he went ahead and certified it anyway. So remember, illegal aliens, illegal criminals. What if DC is considered a different country? Remember, I'm going to use the liberals' version and what they say about DC. Listen to what she says. Corinne Pierre, whatever her name, Corinne Jean Pierre. Listen to what she says.
We believe D.C. should be a statehood. I mean, we've been very clear. The president has been very clear. Again, D.C. is not a state. It's not a city. The reason why this bill was coming before the...
So did she just say D.C. is not a state? Right? In her own words, if that is the case, then would all of the criminals that were in D.C., i.e. the Congress, the Senate, the dirty, dirty swamp people in Congress and the Senate, and they committed crimes such as the coup back in 2020 when they voted to certify a knowingly fraudulent election, which in my opinion, that was treason. Will President Trump run them through quick trials? Is immigration only for the illegal aliens? Help me out, White Hats, okay? Maybe President Trump can clarify this in the next post or a truth post or so. My outlook on this is if the law is the law. So if she is saying DC is not a state, DC is not a city, then what the heck is it? It's a foreign country, right? Invading our land with their rules. See where I'm going with this, guys? It's going to be it's going to be very ugly. So let me talk about some of the things that President Trump has done outside of the 8 judges that he went ahead and fired. He needs you and me and all we the people to help with this call to action. White House and President Trump, the whitehouse.gov site put this tip line, media bias offender tip line. This is what it is. Okay, first of all, I had to go through and ask very different ways because AI was not giving me an answer about can a sitting president, take action on broadcast licenses. And it was like, no way, he can't. You know, again, I was having a little battle with these guys, AI today. Then I finally got my answer. Communication Act does contain emergency provisions such as Section 706, which grants the president broad authority over communications infrastructure during a declared war or national emergency. What did we just talk about late last week? President Trump has declared a war, right? He was going to go ahead and bomb the narco terrorists, yeah? So with that being done, and 2 days ago when Carolyn Levitt was talking about they are following the law of war. We are at war. Now, with that being said, President Trump has tremendous powers, either under a national emergency or declared war. The tip line is going to help because you are making a huge difference. Remember how we talked about XRP as the gatekeeper, as the guard keeper? Those that are wanting to get involved, are involved, have desires to get involved, your heart is in the right place because you know now that XRP is going to monitor any illegal transactions, any nefarious transactions, yeah? It's not like a bank account and some banks are liberal and some banks, they'll just debank you because you are a conservative. Here we have this where President Trump is saying, we want you, the people, please report anything that you see out there that is considered fake news. So this is really how it works. Takes you to this page. There's that URL. Takes you to this page. Scroll down, put in your email address, put in the media outlet. So you just type it in there and then link to biased article. So... And then you report the bias. Guys, we could do this in our sleep. Literally, we see a fake news, putting something out there. We just take the link, we put it in there, boom, done. I mean, talk about this is quick and fast. And they remember President Trump has mentioned that fake news is the enemy of us. They are our enemies. So we are now going to report our enemies. You all doing such great digging. Pathfinder and Up and Over. They posted this on Pete Hegseth during the cabinet meeting yesterday. Pete Hegseth's name card was sitting in front of him. They put two S's in front of secretary. See that S secretary, like a stuttering secretary. Is it tying to this post? Endless lies, endless wars, endless inflation, endless printing of what? Money? Endless oppression, endless surveillance. Who will put an end to the endless? Taking control Q. Okay, now again, guys, these are just columns that we're reading, but a lot of columns have come to fruition. Endless many things. So is our enemy. Did Maduro surrender? Well, President Trump, this is one of those 65 videos that you saw, the clip. President Trump had put this out there. I'm going to read the part to you because this is all spoken in Spanish. Venezuela president just publicly surrendered to President Trump. Maduro has now turned in state evidence against the Biden administration and is releasing proof that Biden asked the Venezuelan government to ship Tren de Aragua gangs into the United States. This is treason at the highest level, guys. Again, you could do your research, but that's what my research is coming up with. This is treason at the highest level. The Biden administration, who else was involved? We know that Big Mike went inside and signed a couple of or 4 pardons through using the auto pen. It was loosey-goosey White House over when Biden was there. Now are they releasing this? And remember, this is what about the secrets in Qatar? What about the secret where President Trump has established very strong ties? What about the secrets in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia, and the ties that the Saudi Arabian government had, where perhaps did Hillary Clinton or the government here have blackmail or stranglehold, some kind of stranglehold on the Middle Eastern countries? And when those countries united with and were on board with President Trump, the fear that they had was the information that was going to get transmitted and transferred over. And did they kind of flip? Here's a financial switch for you, a little thumb drive, and then give us the thumb drive on everything, on all the dirt. Again, all of this is something that many of the low-hanging fruit people that have been watching this and hoping that wouldn't come out are freaking out now. But when you have a dictator, again, how many dictators has President Trump won over? I mean, he won one over, but kept calling him Rocket Man and all these names, and then all of a sudden he gets invited to go over there to North Korea across the DMZ, and oh man, now everything is good, right? Now, but how many dictators have acquiesced and said, I give up? President Trump has got so much on them, but what that also means is you talk about the ultimate peace around the world. The second news about the world is I'm reading little hints that Zelensky had hinted that he would resign, but he had conditions. Well, now it looks like he's being forced to resign, according to one source. So I'm going to wait until it comes out in a couple of other sources. But it was some Telegram post, and it was saying that Zelensky was forced to resign. Otherwise, he will be taken out with handcuffs. Now, if that happens, Russia, Ukraine, in the public eye, the peace would happen. But do you see why President Trump needs to keep a few things still in play? He needs to take down fake news. He needs to take down the dirty Congress. He needs to make moves under the law of war. You're understanding where I'm coming from? Okay, now President Trump, yesterday after his cabinet meeting, oh my goodness gracious, I think you're going to be jumping for joy. Get your little dancing hips ready. So President Trump, he hints so he was hinting that there would, in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay because money we're taking in is so great and so enormous. Listen to this in his own words.
And I believe that at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous that you're not going to have income tax to pay. Whether you get rid of it or just keep it around for fun or have it really low, much lower than it is now, but you won't be paying income tax. We've slashed one.
And just that under the breath, you won't be paying income tax. Guys, it is happening. I don't know what is more obvious. I mean, come on. He said you won't be paying income tax. So he hints it and then it happens. He hints it and it happens. President Trump, as a philanthropist, as businessman Trump, he did a plethora of great things to different people. Different lives, different families got touched. Big drastic changes, guys. And he didn't go out there and use that as part of his campaign. No, he was quiet. I think the only people that knew were his family, and that was it. He just remained quiet about his acts of helping humanity. Remember, President Trump, he's got Alaska. We've got minerals and oil, tons of it in Alaska. He's talked about Canada being the 51st state. He's hinted about the UK. He is the Board of Peace for the world. We view him as the leader of the world. The world isn't quite there yet. President Trump is making drastic moves. So I know there's about 40 countries that listen to this podcast on YouTube. Please be aware, President Trump's got you. It's just that he's got to take care of it here first. And we just have, like I said yesterday, we just got these dingbat liberals that are fighting our own people. And in order to prevent greatness from coming in, how weird is that, right? Whereas you in the UK, in Western Europe, in Canada, Australia, you might be saying, well, I don't understand. Why would they do that? The mindset of the liberals here in America is just it's just out there, okay? You're better off talking to a wall than you are to even trying to even slightly explain anything to a liberal. So they don't want greatness. That means they won't get it. Carolyn Levitt gave a sneak peek on what President Trump's announcement will be about. Happening today at the White House, President Trump's announcement is to unveil a reset of federal fuel standards that heightened under Biden, which the White House said will save $109 billion in total for American families. Now, some of you might say, okay, what does that mean? It's going to affect the pump prices, and then is it going to affect our energy prices? Remember, when President Trump was out there doing the campaign trail, he talked about saving or reducing our energy cost by 50%, or more, within 1 year after he takes office. Now, he may have to move that line a little bit, that goalpost a little bit, but around that time frame. So is that what's coming up? Is this the world we're going to start helping? Is this where many, especially the viewers for Beach Broadcast, where your souls are so big and your hearts are so, it's just what you want to give is so abundant. This right here is an example, I believe, of how you are going to help make a difference. You might say, I don't have the audience, I don't have the voice, I don't have a podcast, I don't want to be a podcaster, but will you be helping as more of a Secret Santa type of way? Will you be helping in a way that will change one person's world, and that one person's world, it will have a domino effect. Remember about 4 years ago when I got booted off all these channels and we were on Discord for about 2 days, not even 2 days. I think we were on Discord for 24 hours. But there was somebody that was talking about he was going to get his heat cut off. Now, some of you have been viewers for a long time. He was in Canada. It was the middle of winter, and he was going to get his heat cut off, and his truck was going to get repossessed because he just ran out of funds. And he wasn't asking for anything. I just happened to run into that while we were on Discord. Brought it up in one of my podcasts. Did you know because of you, he got $15,000 and he only needed $5? You know what he said? He wrote a private message to me and said, I got $15,000. He was overwhelmed. And he said, I know 2 other people that can use help. So I'm going to give them each $5,000 each. But you see the domino effect of helping humanity. Some of you have seen the story about Ed. He is an 88-year-old man. A podcaster went out there, and I guess this is what this podcaster does, is goes out there and finds people in need. But I wanted to share this with you, and then I'll share a little bit about an update on Ed. Check this out.
Just seeing if I could have help scanning this. Thank you. What was your name?
Ed.
I'm Sam.
Okay.
I actually had someone nominate you from this store and said you're very hardworking.
Well, I try to be.
May I ask how old you are?
I'm 88.
And still working?
Yes, I have to.
Why do you have to keep working?
Retired from General Motors in '99. 2012, I went bankrupt, and They took my pension away from me.
Oh my gosh. Do you have a wife?
She passed away 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
She was sick when I lost my pension.
So you've been struggling a bit?
A little bit.
You said that you lost your pension?
Yes, sir, I did. I was in the Army back in 66.
So you're a veteran too?
Yes. The thing that hurt me the most was my wife was real sick. And when they took the pension, they also took the health care coverage.
Yeah.
And all but $10,000 of my life insurance.
Oh my gosh.
So I sold the house, sold the property I had, and we made it through. My wife died 7 years ago. Since then, I've been trying to reestablish myself.
And you're working here how many days a week?
I work 5 days a week, 8 hours a day.
And you do that because you have to, or?
Yeah, I don't have enough income
What's your dream?
to live somewhat the life I was hoping for.
I'd like to share your story and try and, get people to help you retire.
Well, thank you.
Of course. You're amazing. I want to give you $400 here as a tip. Of course. You're amazing,
Thank you.
man. Of course.
I don't know what to say. It goes a long way to help me.
Give you a hug?
Yeah, thank
Go
you.
for love.
I'm not going to leave you hanging, guys. Well, his GoFundMe has raised and it wasn't his, somebody else did it for him. This podcaster, I believe, did it for him. His GoFundMe, because of the love and support from the community, from the world out there, he has now raised $1.2 million. And this can help Ed to catapult and to get ready to retire. All these acts of kindness are they're just signs of what is to come, how our lives will change. We saw the Dells, Michael and Susan Dell, they are donating to 25 million children, $250, but that $250, if it's taken by Trump and he does the investment on it, or his team does, that $250 as a child, as a baby, is going to turn into a nice fortune for an 18-year-old. That's that same child when he becomes 18. Will that kind of relief happen? And will, again, many of us might have a hard time believing what Elon Musk talked about in about 10 to 20 years. Money is not even going to be the issue, right? And we have a choice to work. What a different world that will be. I really want to be, I'd love to be around, God willing, during that time where it's just living in a different type of world of helping humanity. But for Ed, he's going to have a very, very Merry Christmas. So I'm trying to keep up to date with that podcaster and see what he's going to post and updates on that. But that's just an example of the life that we're looking forward to. Now, some people might say, Santa, my husband has everything. My wife has everything. I don't know what to give her. May I make a suggestion? May I suggest to write on a piece of paper what you want to do together? Some may say, I want us to wear the same ugly sweatshirt or ugly sweaters and take a picture together. Maybe you're both so busy, or maybe the husband's very busy. You want a picture with same pajamas like you did when you were kids, right? You want to bake cookies with your husband and your wife together, all right? Now, if your husband doesn't like baking, he could take them out of the oven and put them on the plate. There's many creative things that one can do that will be moments where it's not something they say, oh, great, thank you so much, and then they forget what you gave them. They'll remember the Christmas where he had to bake cookies with you. Or she had to maybe work on a truck with you, and doing some things together, going to see some lights together. Those are moments that we want to hold on to. And all I ask is, if, again, some people might say, my husband has everything, my wife has everything, or conversely, somebody might say, I just really don't have the Christmas funds this year. It was kind of not a very busy year for me. This gift works both ways. And if we can get really creative like that with moments, how precious it will be. So I think, and you can even have one there, maybe you could say, my secret to you is I just wanted to tell you that I love you, and and maybe just to have a card with all the things you love about him or her, and that you may not have been able to say into words, and let that person sit there and start crying with joy and recognizing, wow, I didn't even see that in myself. So there's many different things to do, but it puts a lot of thought into writing something down. But those are some of the things that we can look forward to, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait until we have those Moments of Just Helping Humanity podcasts. So we have a lot of great things to look forward to. President Trump's given us a lot of hints. I will have a podcast tomorrow on what he's going to be sharing today on his announcement. Have a beautiful afternoon, evening, day. Thanks for listening and sharing this podcast, and I will have a show very soon. Aloha.